Welcome back to another episode of How Did They Grow? I created this podcast because I wanted you to learn how other coaches, freelancers, service providers, and course sellers are growing their business, landing 10 to 20 new clients every single month, paying them 50, 100, 200K months. See, if they've done it, you can too. And that's just the reality. And I want you to listen to these podcasts to understand what strategies are they using, what techniques are they exploring, because it's in these gems that you can apply it to your business and actually scale things up. When you're ready and you feel like you actually want to learn practical, proven methodologies, or even you want to hire a team that can build you a profitable personal brand, book in a chat with our team because we can guarantee you go viral and guarantee you get clients for your business.
Here and mess up, but
Yeah, tell me a little bit more about the business.
Yeah. So I do mind body coaching and I have a retreat center. So I work with people that have suffered with chronic pain. And have tried all the traditional medical routes, but have not gotten success with that. And so we use a mind-body approach, which means the mind and the body are back in alignment, back connected. And in that space, the body begins to naturally heal itself. So we've reversed surgeries and gotten off medications and help people learn to self-heal their body, without the traditional medical route. And I have retreats. I do events here in person. I travel to clients across the world and go to their homes and work with them there, or they come here. It's.
And how long have you been doing this?
Crazy. I started in 2018, and then when COVID hit, I ended up having to shut down my spa. I had a massage and aesthetic spa. And I was no longer able to see clients in person. And so I shut down the brick and mortar and went online full time with all my massage clients and turned them into coaching clients through understanding the way that chronic pain was affecting their body. And since 2018, I've been coaching. 2020, I retired from 25 years behind the chair and my spa.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You might need to, enlighten me a little bit on what you mean by chronic pain. I'm not really educated on that.
Yeah. So anybody that has gut issues, migraines, back pain, neck pain, knee pain, anything that's been around longer than 3 months, any pain that's been repetitive throughout life. So maybe they had migraines when they were younger and they got migraines again when they were older. Hormonal issues, gut health, eczema, psoriasis, skin issues. Pretty much anything that any human has suffered with longer than 3 months in their entire life is now considered chronic. And the body knows how to heal itself. It knows what to do, but we've not been educated on that. We've been taught to go to traditional medicine, take medicine, do treatments, have surgeries. And a lot of times it's not necessary because I treat the root cause. I treat the reason why this is in your body. They're treating the symptom of the pain or the ailment.
That's amazing. It's not something I've really come across before. I mean, this is going to be an amazing conversation.
There's
let me just
in this. So there's not a whole lot of us that are trained in these modalities. So it's not surprising. Something you've heard of,
How do I pronounce your name? Your last name, Monique? Is it Monique?
Yeah, it's Monique. Yeah.
Monique Derwin.
Derwin. Yeah.
Okay,
Derwin.
like Derwin.
Yeah, like DERWIN.
Derwin.
Yeah.
Is that good enough?
That's it. That's perfect.
Monique Derwin.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we start, did you look into us before hopping on?
I did not get to look into you. Yeah. Tell me about your podcast. I know that you help people, like you're talking about business owners and their success strategies and things like that. And there was questions about income and things like that you had asked in the interview sheet and from the site that I got.
Yeah, so it's not like my thing. It's not my podcast. I'm just the host, right?
Okay.
It's an agency. We're an agency. We're a viral content agency. Basically, we help coaches, creators, people who want to get on social media. We help them get on and help them speed run the process because it's not the easiest thing when you're a coach. And I'm sure you can attest to this. When you're a coach and having to figure out the latest trends and the latest fancy edits and how to do all that, it's not the easiest thing. And also having to stay consistent with posting. So we help people do that. That's what we do. So we've been in the game for like 5 years and we have been able to grow an audience. We've been able to grow an audience. And our founder, who was actually the guy, our founder,
Mhm.
who was, I think maybe you saw his pictures on one of the forums or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a former monk, so he's really big on giving back to the community and all that. And he was thinking, we built this community. How can we help people? Because not everyone can afford our services. So we said, how can we help people who can't afford our services? Then he said,
Mhm.
start a podcast. Let's start a podcast where we can educate our audience, educate people who are aspiring to become coaches and consultants,
Mhm.
educate them on the game, the finances, the social media, what it takes. And we moved on to bringing people on who are not our clients, people who are just doing great in the industry, which
Mhm.
is obviously how we got here. And yeah, that's basically how we got here. And the podcast itself is new. So we're hoping to get like, I think up to 20 episodes. And when we do get that, we start rolling it out. So we always have something in the bank in case anything ever goes wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, Monique, before we start, anything you want to know?
No, I mean, I'm an open book, and I always think that, collaboration with other business owners and things like this are always helpful for both parties. So,
Yeah, that's amazing. Let's just be clear on what we're going to speak about. I've seen your form, and it's amazing. We're going to speak about the pain and all that, and your
Mhm.
business. But we're also
Okay.
going to touch a bit on social media, to cater more to our audience. Touch on
Mhm.
social media, how social media has helped you grow and get more clients. How the coaching business is doing. How maybe things you've learned along the way, what you would tell someone if they're going to start. And
Okay.
yeah, we're just gonna have a flow. It's gonna be your show. As I said, my job here is to make you feel like give the people the best version of Monique. And
Okay.
yeah, now cool.
Yes. The only question that I have is there anything that's off topic or that we don't discuss, or, I try to be
That,
very mindful of my words and how I say things, but sometimes I
mm-mm-mm.
drop a bomb. I want to make sure that I don't want to offend the audience. I want to make sure that I'm clear on,
Sure,
boundaries or
sure, sure,
rules.
sure, sure. We're good on our end. I think
Okay.
I should be the one to ask you that question because
No,
you're
I'm
coming on.
fine. Yeah, no,
I
I'm
think
good.
then we're on the same.
I always like to check, because some people have, some pretty strict rules about how they want questions answered, or topics that are offhand, that we don't
No, no,
discuss,
no,
or
no.
things like that. So, okay.
We
Thank
just
you.
want to give the people Monique DeRowan, pure.
All right.
All
Sounds
right,
good.
so I think it's already recording. The intro and outro are already like pre-recorded. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna do a little fake countdown right now so we can like get on the same page. Is that cool?
Yep.
Okay, and in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the podcast, guys. Today we have Monique Darwin. Monique Darwin. Please tell me I got that.
You said it right, Derwin.
Darwin, lovely. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Monique.
Yeah. So I teach people how to end chronic pain. I teach
Mm.
people how to self-heal.
Tell us a little bit more about chronic pain for maybe an audience who are not.
Yeah. Yeah. Chronic pain is something that many, many people suffer with. Headaches, migraines, TMJ, rashes, gut issues, your back pain, your neck pain. Many, many humans suffer with these types of ailments. And we've been taught to grab Advil, grab a heating pad, some pain salve, get a massage, maybe even go into medicine, getting pharmaceuticals or surgeries. And that was my story for many years. I had a 20-year chronic pain journey. I had many
Mm.
diagnoses and ailments. And I was just ready to pull my hair out, because I was so tired of trying to figure out how to fix myself, trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And that's when I came across mind body coaching, mind body connection. And mind body connection is the idea that we have a brain and a body and all of these parts. But if they're not in cohesion, if they're not aligned and connected, that the balance goes off in the body and ailments begin to manifest, symptoms begin to happen. So as I began to understand chronic pain, understand more about mind body connection, I found that we didn't have to go the traditional medical route that I was so
Mm.
used to, that I had been exposed to my entire life. And I saw an entire opportunity of things that I had never been exposed to be able to help myself. And after I did that, I knew that I had to learn to help other people too.
That's amazing. And it's always amazing for you to be able to come from a place where, you've come through this battle, this journey of battling with chronic pain, and you being able to put your message out there and help people and help people change their lives. All right. Tell us a little bit more about how you discovered this mind body thing.
Yeah. It was really interesting. I had little glimpses of it throughout my entire life. I would read books and it would talk about, the brain or how people healed their body without medicine and things like that. And I'm very curious, which worked in my favor. And so I just kind of kept exploring, wondering what else was out there that I didn't know about. I learned about holistic wellness and holistic healing, changing, the food and using essential oils and supplements versus traditional medicine. And all that made sense. But I just knew that there was something more. And I was introduced to it on a physical level when I was actually working with some massage therapists that were working with my body, and they began to ask me questions while they were working on my body. And instead of the muscle just softening, my entire nervous system changed in just a second, in just a moment. And I began asking these therapists, like, what are you doing? What is this? Tell me more about it. And they were different healers from different modalities. And some of them were like, Chinese medicine is the way. And some of them were like, essential oils is the way and holistic therapy is the way. But I just kept going and going and going. And the more I investigated, the more I found, and it started coming together. It started really making sense.
Yeah, that's an amazing experience. I was speaking to someone on this podcast a while back, and they were telling me about how when you have habits, or when you have, let's say, habits, right? They told me that when you're thinking about that habit, when that habit or that bad thought is in your head, it manifests physically. And I
Yes.
never thought about it that way before. I never thought about it that way. So it really opened my mind that it manifests physically. And if you are able to combat that physically, you will be able to get rid of that thing at that moment. And this brings it back to what you were saying about the mind and the body. There is that connection, but it's subconscious, and a lot of people don't pay attention to it.
That's absolutely it, right? And so think about a lemon, right? Just
What?
think about a lemon, a fruit, a lemon,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
Think about biting into a lemon. What happens? Your body
Feels
creates
sour.
yeah, you taste sour. The lemon's not in your mouth, but just the thought of the
Mm,
creates the sensation, right?
mm.
Same thing with a pickle. You bite into a pickle, you have that pucker, that sour, that salivation that happens in the mouth. We have many, many, many examples of this. And it's hard to make sense of it, but every time you think a thought, your limbic brain flushes an emotion through your body, a feeling. So when you're thinking good, happy, joyous thoughts, we're going to Disney World, we're going on vacation, we're going on a date, we're going to have fun, the body amps up. It feels good. It's aligned. When you think, I need new tires and the credit card bill is due and I need to make dinner for all these kids tonight, there's a heaviness, right? Because all words and thoughts hold vibrations. So he's absolutely right. The problem that we run into, Mike, is that most people don't know how to just flip a thought, because most of us have believed those thoughts our whole lives. It's the environment we've been raised in. It's the community we've been in. It's what our culture has experienced. Growing up in Louisiana, there's a lot of oppression. There's a lot of heaviness down there. And there's a way of living and thinking, and it's not wrong. It's just different, right? And so when you're exposed to certain things throughout childhood, throughout your life, throughout school and religion and education and all the things, you create a belief system. You create thoughts that you think all the time, unconsciously and subconsciously. And those thoughts are so strong and impactful of our body. And if people really understood the power of a thought, we would be very more much more conscious of it. But it's just natural. It's a pattern. It's a habit, just like you said.
I hope you're enjoying this podcast. I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're learning so much practical wisdom, because that's what I really wanted from this podcast. Now, I just want to quickly say, if you're looking for a team that can actually help you explode and go viral with your personal brand with proven methodologies, I say this because I've been doing this for the past 5 years. We've got a team of 30 people who are ready to go ahead and explode your brand so you can get clients begging to work with you. Have a chat with one of our advisors. You can book in a chat using one of the links around the this video, because that chat might just change your life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think that's amazing. I think that's an amazing message for you to be able to share with the world, and not just that, and not just on the mind level, but also on the physical level, and helping people heal from their trauma, these pains that they've been carrying all these years. How would you say social media has helped with that message and helping you reach more people?
Yeah. When I started on social media, we always giggle about this. I had about probably right under 300 friends, and they were people I knew personally, people I went to school with, family, people that I've met through life. My Facebook was private. I was very conscious because I was a massage therapist. I worked in spas, and there's always this fear, of the wrong people getting a hold of you and the wrong information, right? Because that's what the world says. It's very scary out there. And so I was very protective, and I was very conscious of who I let into my world. And I realized when I moved to Colorado that social media was the way that I was going to get this message out. And the beauty of social media is that it's absolutely free. You can post 1,000 times a day, and there's no charge for it. It's just your time and your energy, right? And so what I started doing was talking about the thoughts and the mind-body connection. And I was putting side by sides of myself up. Like, this was me 6 months ago. This is me now. This is just from doing mind body work. I didn't see doctors. I wasn't taking medicine. And you could see from the photographs, I was reversing my age. I was getting healthier. I was losing weight. I was happier. I had a glow, right? And people would ask me, what are you doing? Tell me more, right? And so I started talking about it more and more and more. And it was very uncomfortable at first. I lost friends. I have family that's in the medical community that said this is hogwash. They hated on me. I actually wrote an article about haters and naysayers because of that. But it was hard at first. I'm not going to lie, because it's being vulnerable. It's telling the world that a lot of things that we've been exposed to might be incorrect. The misinformation could be hurting us. And it goes against what a lot of people say, right? And so it was kind of this weird wobble, but eventually I built my social media up. I have a few thousand followers now on Facebook, which has been great. I've got probably 85% of my clients through social media, and built a beautiful business with it. And I can't say enough about social media now. I'm a little bit of a social media dork. I love it. I post every day. I connect with people. We had a conversation this morning, and it was like, how many billion people are on, Facebook? There was like over 3 billion people, over 2 billion on Instagram. And so it was a challenge in my brain to go, there's billions of people there for me to meet. I don't need to go to people's doors. I don't need to go to every event in the area anymore as a one person. I can go into groups and help hundreds or thousands of people at one time with a simple response. And completely free for them and me.
Yeah, and you get to give them value to them, and it must be really fulfilling, being able to, I always say this, like, take people from one position where they want to get over this bridge, and they meet you and they say, hey, I'm committing to you. I am trusting you to be able to help me get over this bridge. And when you actually get them there, it's like, some coaches we have on here, they describe the feeling as like having a kid. They say it's almost as having a kid. That's how it feels,
Yeah, I agree. And the beauty of social media, again, just like you said, is that when we connect with one person, or we offer one little bit, one sliver of information, not advice, but actual things that they can do to change their patterns, their habits, to feel better. And then 50 people or 100 people actually practice that at one time, all the frequency just went up, right? Everybody's vibration just goes up.
Yeah.
And they get a glimpse of what it's like to feel better, even if it's just for a moment. And I think that's what kept me going all those years, is I would get those little glimpses through the people I was getting body work with. They would give me these little nuggets, these little bites. And that's what kept my curiosity going. And so now that I can offer that in just a moment by reading someone's question and giving a response, it feels so good to be able to give back on that level.
Yeah, definitely. And you spoke a lot about Facebook. Are you looking into other platforms as well, or what's the plan there?
I'm on everything. I have a YouTube channel. I have Instagram. I do TikTok. I'm on LinkedIn, Threads, X, all the
I think
ones.
that's great. I think that's great. I think that's great. It's always the goal is to put yourself in front of as many eyeballs as possible and get the people who want you to come to you, organically.
Yeah.
Over here we're not too crazy on ads, because ads is like you spend a lot of money on ads, you don't know what's going to come out of it. But if it's organic and the people see you from what you're posting, like Mike, I want to connect with Mike. That's the best way to do it. But how are you handling that? Like being on all these platforms at once and being able to post like consistently?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's obviously apps that allow you to connect, certain ones together. Like you can connect your Facebook and Instagram together.
Yeah.
And so it goes on one, it automatically goes to the other. I've tried all kind of stuff. I've tried the scheduling apps where you go in and you can, put every single one to where it schedules to the apps. But normally it's an energy in me. I have something that I want to share. I hurry up and make a reel, edit it real quick for a couple of seconds, throw some captions on, because we know that most people are watching this stuff at work and they don't want to hear the noise. So they like to read. That's always a trick that's nice to have for social media.
Yeah.
And I just share, what's in my heart at the moment. Or if I have a client going through something, or sometimes I have 2 or 3 clients that are sharing something really similar the same week. And so I know there might be a collective confusion or a collective pain happening, right? If there's some tragedy or trauma going on in the whole country or the world, we all relate to things that are happening across the world, right? Everybody's confused, everybody's scared and hurting with different things. And so anything that I can offer, any platform, it's coming straight from my heart in the moment. And it's, hey, I've been thinking about this and I wanted to share it. Is anybody else relating to this? If so, let's connect. Let's get together. Let's have a coffee chat. Let's know we're not alone,
Yeah. So like that's crazy. That's a crazy amount of work, especially for a coach.
Yeah.
We get over here, we got a lot of coaches saying like they can't handle the work. It's too much, trying to focus on their business and delivering to their clients and, focusing on delivery. So how is it like? Do you have a system in place? How are you able to handle all this? It's actually impressive.
Yeah, I have a pretty good system. I hired an amazing mentor many, many years ago, and I still work with her. I see her every week, multiple times a week, actually. And
She's a friend now.
Yeah. She taught me, how to use my energy in the correct ways and how to share content that is from my heart and authentic and not just, throwing junk out there. And what I have right now is I have, this morning I looked, I have about 55 clients. 38 of those, 40 of those or so are in a membership. And some of them do both. Some of them are in my membership, some of them are private clients, and some of them are both. And so I have a very disciplined schedule with my clients. These are the amount of hours that I work with my clients, my group calls, all the things. And then these are the hours that I create content. I make sure that I have graphics together. I make sure that there are certain things that I have available that if in the moment I just want to jump on live real quick, well, that's just coming from my head and my heart. I don't need anything for that, right? But maybe on Saturday or Sunday, I sit down for a few hours and I'm like, what do I want to talk about? What do I want to share? This week, I'm sharing all about a free challenge I have. I have a free 3-day challenge. And so all week long, all you're going to see is me talking about this challenge, because we start Monday morning at 6 a.m. And so I just want to let everybody know that I have this available. And so every single day, I come on and I post a couple times talking about that. I reach out to a couple people that are asking questions about it and, get into some DMs and have some conversations. Maybe it is correct for them. Maybe it's not. But I think we underestimate the amount of time and energy that it takes to promote on social media and do things and to have a following and to share a message that's authentic and that relates to people. And I went through a lot of that for a long time, many years of just beating my head against the wall and exhausting myself. And now it's just, this is my message. This is what I do. I know it works. I know I can help you. And if you really want help, we should hang out. We should talk. you know?
And I really resonate with what you said at the end there in terms of like what you do works. Like that confidence, especially in a coach, when a coach knows what their system works, it's really big and must get you a lot of clients. And I want to ask, like you spoke about your clients, how you said your clients mostly come from social media, right? How does that work? You don't do any marketing? I think that's impressive.
I mean, I just started running a few ads and boosting some events and things like that, just to, let people that I don't know what I do. And we'll see how that goes. But, yes, I answer a comment. I respond to something. If there's a woman saying, I've been suffering with headaches for 10 years, my question to her is, what are you overthinking? What are you overprocessing? Where's the perfectionism at in your life? If someone is struggling with TMJ or jaw pain, I want to know, what are they chewing on? What are they afraid to express? Right? Because I'm getting to the root of why that pain is there. Yeah. And then from that, we just open up a conversation. If you have gut issues, if you have allergies to food or sensitivities, what are you sensitive to in life? What are you not digesting in life? What's making you sick to your stomach in your real world, right? Because remember, those thoughts are activating these sensations in the body. And so if we can really understand where this is coming from, and they want to change it, and they've tried all these things and they haven't got the response or the answers that they want, I'm 100% confident that I can help them. I've done it with myself and hundreds of private clients personally. And so we have science, we have proven science that says this works. So there is confidence there with it, but also it's seeing someone go from not being able to eat at a restaurant to be able to go out on a date and eat whatever they want and not be sick. Like those types of things are so encouraging to people that are out there struggling with it, right? And so when people ask questions, I share client stories, I share conversations that I've had, and it just organically unfolds into a connection. And again, if they're willing to do the work and they want the help, I have something that can help them, whether it's, a membership or whether it's private coaching or anything in between. Sometimes it's just resources. It's my YouTube channel. Hey, watch this movement video. Hey, watch this short that I did about headaches or migraines or gut health. And sometimes they relate to it, and sometimes people think it's ridiculous, and that's okay too.
Yeah, that's I like that you said that. Tell us a little bit more. Tell us more about maybe one of your best clients and where they were, how you were able to get them to where they are now, and how did that make you feel? Their journey, really.
I have so many amazing clients, but one of my clients that I think about often, she came to me and she had spent thousands and thousands of dollars and years of her life trying to regulate her nervous system. She was in such bad dysregulation that she couldn't turn her neck. She had an injury. She couldn't turn her neck. She couldn't pick things up. She had small children. She couldn't get into a car and drive because her hands would literally not hold the wheel. She was so anxious because of this injury to drive a vehicle even. And she's climbing rock walls and doing yoga, and she's been driving, and she works and she carries big boxes, and she realized her body wasn't broken. I have another client that was in a wheelchair and is dancing.
Wow.
It's mind-blowing what the brain can do when we know how to use it in our favor. And these women went through a lot of hard times. And with me, we spent a lot of time. We did a lot of work around this. It's not a once and done thing for things like that. But I have other clients that, had high blood pressure and then got off their blood pressure meds or quit taking anxiety meds. Because we taught them how to regulate their nervous system and just a few little tools that they could use anytime, anywhere. I have one client that did one call with me and one live session and processed a lot of old trauma, and her hips stopped hurting. I haven't heard from her since.
Wow.
So there are those types of clients as well. But most clients stay with me for a little bit, because as we begin to really unravel things, we see there's another layer and another layer and another layer.
Wow. Those are some great experiences you shared. I'm curious, maybe for the sake of the audience, like what's the process like? Like you get them onto the program. What is it like? Is it like some sort of physiotherapy? Like I'm curious.
So the first thing I do is I always offer a complimentary consultation. Let's
Okay.
connect. I'm gonna bring you through an evaluation, a questionnaire. I need to know some things about when this started, how long it's been going on, what your symptoms are. I need some basic information to always start with people. So I offer a free consultation. We do that first. From there, depending on where they're at, I have an evaluation scale, right? So are they a candidate for a group environment? Do they have understanding of mind-body connection? Do they believe that their body can heal? These are things that really play into what program I offer them. And I don't make everyone an offer. There are people that I say, we're not a good fit. You're not ready for this yet. Let's talk again in 6 months and see where you are. There's also, things that I ask of clients, like to come out of certain groups that are maybe support groups, because again, think about those thoughts, right? The more you see the same thing that relates, the more your stuff amps up. And so while support groups are fantastic and amazing and they have their place, when you're trying to heal and change, you don't need the support of the pain anymore. So
Mm.
it really depends on the client, where they're at, and what they're willing to do, depending on which space that I put them in. But the majority of my work is done online. I have a group session or I have private coaching. So we would jump on a call just like this, and I would process mind-body connection. We would talk about root causes. Sometimes we do physical work. Like I would tell them, hey, grab your arm right here, move it this way. And we would talk about what's going on, maybe what they feel, what they're thinking. The other side is that I have an office on the other side of this door, and I have a table, and I have clients from all over the world that come here in person with me. Sometimes they spend a day, sometimes they spend a week, depending on what they're needing. And we do physical body work. And so as I'm moving the tissue, I'm talking about the trauma that's stored there, the root cause, the thing that created the pain. And we really do a lot of deep mental and emotional work while they're on the table. And we dismantle it, we pull it out, we eject it from the body. And they usually stay with me for at least a day or so. And we kind of check in over the next 24 hours, see how they're doing. And from there, they might need some support when they go home, because they're going back into an environment that may have been the problem that started it, right? Yeah, yeah. So it's multifaceted, it's multi-layers. I'm trained in many, many different modalities. I'm a somatic trauma specialist, mind-body practitioner, psychophysiological disorder clinician. I've worked with a lot of great doctors in this field, as well as many mentors. And so I basically get with the client, create the plan for them, and it's a plan that's specific for them and their ailment.
Yeah, that's an amazing process, and also an amazing message. I could see it in your eyes when you were speaking. Like this really goes deep into, this is something you've been through, and you're just trying to get this message to as many people as possible, and also help as many people as possible. And doing this being your kind of like purpose, and also you being able to gain autonomy from this is amazing. And I would ask, like, what's the plan in 2025 to be able to get this message to more people, maybe in social media terms?
Yeah. Definitely, using social media to my benefit. Working on some YouTube stuff. I'm finishing up a book. It should be out soon. Looking at hopefully March or April, that being released. And it's transforming trauma, and it will be a guide that people can use. But yeah, social media has been my best outlet so far to be able to get this message, because it's such a broad audience. And like I said, I can't walk across the country and meet the amount of people that I can meet in social media. So it's kind of a no-brainer to use it in our favor.
Tell us more about the book.
Yeah. So the book is based off of my personal story, my understanding. I didn't really hit on this, but I grew up in a house where my mother was very ill for a long time. She had a lot of chronic ailments. And, the last few years that she was alive, she and I really worked on a lot of the old trauma and the generational pain that had been passed through the family. And I could see it starting to pass into my children, who are now in their 20s. And I was really concerned about stopping it, you know? And so I got with my kids, I got with my mom, and I said, this ends with us. Like, we're not doing this anymore. We're not passing this pain down. We've got to figure it out. Luckily, before my mom passed, I was able to really do some healing with her and get to a different place. And my children as well, they're doing great. They're out in the world living their best life. And for me, it's about showing where pain begins, how it shows up in our body based off of different traumas and incidents in life, and then what exactly to do to end it. So it's a 3-part book, and it's got science, and then my story and client stories, and then a little workbook that's like this is the steps. And if anybody ever wants to know more or contact me, I'm always available to meet.
Yeah, you spoke a lot about, family and generational pain. Tell us how pain can be, passed down through generations.
Yeah. It's,
Is this a hard conversation for you?
well, it's not. It's trying to explain it in a way that's digestible for people, because I know sometimes it's hard to digest some of this information. And so for me, it's, my mom had arthritis and fibromyalgia and a lot of autoimmune disorders. And so when you go into the doctor's office and they make you fill out this form and they want to know your family history, right? And they want to start testing you. Do you have the markers? Do you have the things, right? And so I was very young. I was probably 12, and they said, you're probably going to have arthritis. And immediately, I was probably 13 or 14. Within the next year, I started having injuries. I started having this tightness in my hands, and I would watch my mom just rub her hands, right? She's always was in pain in her hands. And I would catch myself mirroring her. Now, I don't have I have no arthritis. I am hypermobile, which mirrors arthritis, right? So they were giving me a sentence for an illness that I didn't have. When I had a knee injury, I was 13 and I tore some ligaments in my knee. And I told the doctor, I was like, this really hurts. And he says, oh yeah, it's probably going to hurt. Like it's probably always going to hurt. Injuries like this always hurt, right? And you see people that 20 years ago, they had a football injury or they were in a car wreck. Mike, soft tissue repairs in 6 weeks. If you break a bone, it grows back together without resetting it in 6 weeks.
Wow.
Like we know that. If you cut your skin, it grows back. It scabs.
Yeah.
You might scar, but the body knows how to repair itself. So the information that I was given created a fear, created a watch for that, right? When we deal with cancer in the family, somebody has cancer. Now everybody is screened for cancer.
Yeah.
And they do it a single year. And you know what the number one cause of pain and symptoms are? Fear.
Yeah.
Fear. When people are afraid, their bodies go into a fight or flight. The things
You
that move
manifest.
in the body, yeah, they cut off. The science is your saliva stops, your digestion stops, your tears stop. And so now guess what's happening? Your heart's beating faster, your arms are moving faster, your legs are moving faster. And so the energy is not dispersing through the body correctly. That's the science side of it. But yes, what we fear, we manifest. What we think becomes our reality. And so if we really looked at it from that space, so yes, your grandpa has this ailment or this disease or this diagnosis. Like, what if we just stopped there and didn't believe it would pass down? It might. But we go run all the tests and we get the blood work and we do the things, and they're constantly looking for something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I think like as you said, it manifests, when the fear is real. You have the placebo effect in terms of drugs. When if you're optimistic that it's going to work, it's probably going to work even if it's nothing. The same thing applies to fear. If you're scared of something, it's probably going to happen. If you're driving and you're scared that you're going to crash a car, let's say you like, personally, let me just share this with you. I was in a car accident a couple of weeks ago. I think 2 weeks ago. It was really bad. The car is totaled. Like, now driving, and I used to be someone who loves driving. I'm always, wake me at any time I'm driving, right? So like now when I'm driving, there's always this thought like, what if? So it manifests into like, maybe you're not when you want to make a turn, or maybe you're avoiding something, you turn the wheel a little bit more because you're scared, and that might lead to something more dangerous, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's a great example, right? Because when you think about driving, or you're actually driving, and you start thinking, oh, that guy's not slowing down, oh, the red light, oh, that, right? Now you're feeling this emotional confusion in the body. And just like you said, you might hesitate, you might go too fast, because the emotion is driving your body now.
Yes,
Not the logic, right? And then there's going to be a result. There's going to be an outcome. Either you turn and you hit the curb, or you turn and you hit another car, or you turn and you make it.
Yeah.
But the more, we talk about this all the time. Manifestation, I think, is one thing that everybody agrees on, even if they don't understand it. You think about a Volkswagen, you see a yellow Volkswagen, right? We played the license plate as kids, right? You're scavenger hunting, right? You find what you're looking for, whether you want it or not. And so the awareness and the attention to it is what shows it up in our world. And we only see what we see. I don't see what you see. You don't see what I see. We only see what we see through our experiences and through our life. And so when we're looking for something, or we have something active in our vibration and it shows up, it's like, you ever hear people say, oh, it's always something. Of course, that was, oh, you're so lucky, right? They believe that. That's why they keep seeing it. That's why they keep having it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And this, being able to have this perspective, like coming from you, and being able to share it with so many people using the power of social media, I think it's amazing. And I think you've got your little thing figured out. And I think you should keep doing what you're doing. I think a lot of people definitely need to hear your message. Let's what's it called? Let's pivot back into social media, and let me ask you, like, what are some things you learned in 2024 that you are, let's say, you're avoiding in 2025, or some things you learned, you found out late, and you're doubling down on in 2025 in terms of social media?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've learned the most is just assume that nobody sees what you're posting. There's so much noise. There's so much out there. And, I'm up against the cats, and I'm up against people twerking, and I'm up against who wore what at the Grammys, and whatever else is going on. And so I think just, continuing to say it over and over and over again, no matter if it's exhausting, no matter if you lose followers. I'd rather people be on my social media and followers that are aligned with what I'm sharing than it just be hogwash, that they're just scrolling through. So for me, it's, if I lose followers, it's not a problem, because I'm going to gain the ones that are more aligned with what I'm doing. And social media is not for people I know. It's not for my friends. It's not for my family. It's for the people that don't know me yet. And that's my fault.
Yes.
I didn't get out there fast enough. I didn't tell people what I did fast enough, because I was worried and I was scared and I was nervous. And so that's my fault, that I hid my knowledge from the world for so long, and I kept this gift. But now I'm like, I'm going to share it everywhere. I'm going to tell everybody what I do. And so I think it's, find your consistent message, share it over and over and over, assume nobody's seeing it, and talk to people who don't know you, not the ones who do.
You mean in terms of when you're making videos, like the message?
Yeah. Like, I don't need to talk to the people that already know me. I need to talk to the people that don't know this is a thing.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely see where you're coming from now. Yeah. What I would say, I think this is a good place to kind of come to an end. I think we've come full circle here.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, what is something that you wish I asked you on this podcast?
Golly. We talked about a lot. I mean, we went through a lot of information.
Yeah,
So, the only thing that I want is people to know that healing is available, and that it's possible, and that they can use social media to spread their message, to help other people, to connect with people. So I think it's just most important that we know that what we've been exposed to is not all there is. There's a lot more out there. There's a lot more than what we, right? And so I just keep putting yourself out there. keep meeting people, keep sharing your message. I think that would be about it. That's the whole point of all of this.
That's amazing. That's amazing, Monique. To end, I would say, like, where can the people go to learn and find out more about your work?
Yeah, you can look me up on Google or anything else under Monique the Mind Body Coach. It should pull up everything that I have out there, from YouTube videos to my social media, interviews, podcasts, all the things.
Okay, Monique the Mind Body Coach. That is Monique, the Mind Body Coach. It should show up. She's pretty famous. Yeah, it's been great having you on, Monique. It's been great having you on. This has been an amazing conversation, and I think the world definitely does need to benefit from this knowledge that you have.
Yeah, Mike, I agree, and I'm happy to share it with anybody who has questions, doubts, concerns. You know, I get it. I get it. I know what it's like to be out there, be in pain, and not know what to do with it. So don't lose hope.
Don't lose hope. That's the message from this podcast, guys. And yeah, it's been a good one. See you guys in the next one.
I really hope you enjoyed this podcast. I want you to go away and execute everything there is that you've learned. Now, one thing I will say is if you're in a position where you're ready to actually take things to another level, you want structured, clear guidance, you want a team that can actually help accelerate you, book in a chat with our advisors. Why? We can blow up your personal brand to attract clients begging to work with you. All you got to do is book in a chat with our advisors and we can help make it happen. Sound fair enough?